loss from St. Helens home support, but from the thousands of Robins fans that have made their way all the way from the east side of the city of Hull. It will be quite an incredible atmosphere in here in St. Helens as the Saints look to claim 2 crucial points and cling on to their top 6 spot. For Willie Peters, they look to move 2 clear of the chasing pack in the league, in the race for the league leaders' shield. All right, Paul Wellens is in situ alongside Matty Smith, as are our commentary team. Willie Peters standing by with Danny Ward beside him. And beside Dave Woods for this one is John Wells.
Thank you, Brian. Well, if the last few weeks have taught us anything, it is do not be too confident about any predictions. The Super League table is built on shifting sands. Each week we seem to have a different front runner, a different operation from different teams coming through. The Robins, of course, nesting on the very top of the branch at the moment, but Saints are stricken, low on form, low on personnel and low on confidence. But today, John Wells, anything is possible.
No, absolutely. Good afternoon, Dave. It is a match that's really set up, isn't it? And it's gonna, the story's going to unfold over the next couple of days. And I tell you what, Saints already, straight off the kickoff, have come up with an error.
Well, it is a terrible start, isn't it? 2 youngsters coming together, getting in each other's way. And it has given Hull Kingston Rovers an absolute prime position right from the start of this game.
Yeah, and it's the basics, isn't it? The number one thing that you are taught as you're coming through the ranks, it's communication is key. Someone needed to be a dominant voice in that one. I'll tell you what, an early chance for Hull. I'm so excited. I've been all week leading up to this.
Well, here's Mikey Lewis trying to make things happen, turning it left to Jack Broadbent, playing today, of course, in the absence of Ollie Gildart, who failed his HIA. The only change to this Hull Kingston Rovers lineup for a couple of weeks now. They are healthy, they are in form, and right at the start of the game, they are looking for points. It's May who goes to that right-hand side, and Sue who is trying to push his way over. Parcells just having a little look around. St. Helens scrambling, another set of 6. So another set to go here. May with a double pump, but doesn't get the ball away because in comes Batchelor to make that telling challenge. But the Robins still in a good position. Minchella, left foot step. Tries to cut through a couple of defenders who come his way, but he can't do so. So this is Parcell. It's a slow one. It's a very slow one. Parcell. Lees gets out of the way. Mikey Lewis again pops it back on the inside for Hadley, and Hadley will have a push, but he's being tugged at by a couple of Saints defenders again. Matautia amongst them, of course. He's back in the lineup today after recent absence and a big crashing effort, but well met. Saints having to retreat back to their line. The tackle wasn't complete. The referee says play on, and Minchella almost threads his way through. So here comes Parcell again. This is a test, a real test for this Saints side in the opening minutes, and they might be fan wanting here. Hiku goes wide, and Burgess flying over at the corner. Touch judges having a look. Referees having a look. I think we heard the referee saying the grounding was fine.
We have a try. We're checking touchline, please.
Touchline is what they're looking for. So let's hear from the video referee Ben Thaler for the first time today with barely 2.5 minutes played.
OK, we're on tackle 4. We've got a try. We're just checking the touchline and grounding. So we've got nice and slow on this, please. The feet are in the field of play. The feet are still in the field of play. And just nice and slow. Just go back slightly on that to make sure nothing is touching anything outside the field of play. Go forward again. You can clearly see everything is in the field of play. Pause it there. Thank you. The ball's grounded. I've now made my decision.
Well, what a whirlwind start from Hull Kingston Rovers. Joe Burgess takes it up to around dozen for the year, his 12th try of the year. And St. Helens have only had hands on ball once, and that was to make a mistake, and Hull Kingston Rovers have made them pay.
I'll tell you what, that is some finish from Joe Burgess. He was a great pickup, wasn't he, for Hull KR. I'll tell you what, he's repaid him in spades. It all came from this error, straight from the kick-off. 2 young lads not talking to one another. but the setup was absolutely incredible. That pass there from Niall Evans was absolutely perfect, straight onto the chest of Peter Hiku, and allowed him then to pass on to Burgess. Take another look at that, brilliant, absolutely superb, and the finish was just as good. Just take one more look at this pass. Catch, pass, had no time whatsoever. T. Ritson had committed. They knew that if they could execute the final two passes, Burgess would have a brilliant chance of converting the corner. He does just that. The best possible start for what must be, Dave, I don't know, 2,500 travelling fans here.
Well, Mikey Lewis didn't have his kicking boots on at Ellen Road, did he? I think he hit the post about 3 times in that match last week. 1 out of 7, 2 out of 7, I think was his success rate. So it's the most difficult start possible for him today. How well's he doing? Well, he hasn't found the target, so it remains at 4 points to 0. But a real kick in the teeth for Saints to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Just great setup play. Options both sides, haven't they? Mikey Lewis on the left, Tyrone May on the right. Niall Evans is your key. Wherever he goes, I think that's where you need to pay attention. And Willie Peters just a muted round of applause for his team. He would have seen that a million times on the training field. I actually do think goal kicking personally might be important this afternoon. Mikey Lewis, it was closer than a lot of those we saw at Magic, but
well, we said that last week, and it didn't matter in the end, did it? Because they scored enough tries. Too many tries for Catalan on that occasion. So Hawkins Rovers back in possession, having to build from deep inside their own half.
You've got to be quicker!
But I mean, there would have been nerves coming into this from those young players, George Whitby especially, and to make a mistake like that on your debut, he's going to have a test of character now, is he? And that's a penalty for Hull. St Helens can't put a foot right at the moment.
No, understandably, and they've been left in the sheds, haven't they? Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think George Whitby, if you're listening to any of the establishment at St Helens or the fans that came early to this one that watched the reserves, that will have seen him play in the reserves in the academy, they have got nothing but high praise for this kid. He's clearly got a long career ahead of him.
Well, the tap restart, and Hawkins Rovers again starting close to the halfway line. How many play the balls have they had in this game back to back? Because they got a reset up there, didn't they? They scored the try. They've got a couple of play the balls and then a penalty, and here they go again, looking to at least finish this set in their opponent's half. Left it comes. Broadbent is well met though by Makinson, who cuts down the options and makes a very solid attempt in defence. Minchella, May, Evalds again, and here's Hiku, and there's a bit of space out there again for Burgess, but he cuts back in, and Saints defence have him covered. But Hull Kingston Rovers are threatening again. And here's Sue, direct, brushing one off, but not the next two. One play to go. You suspect it's going high here. May, in fact, they're going through hands, and Evalds trying to make a bit of space, but the ball flies out of play. St Helens survive, and they'll get a rarity here. They'll get their hands on the ball meaningfully for the first time in the opening 6 minutes of the game.
No, make no mistake, they won't be panicking, not by a long stretch. You're right, it's going to be the first opportunity to settle into this game. You'll forgive Niall Evans for that. He's been so creative in possession this year. But just a little word on the consistency. The boys were talking about that consistency in selection that Hull KR have had. Their spine, they're 1, 6, 7, 9 and 13. And whether you include Jez Litton in that or Matt Parcell in that, have missed 8 games between them this season. Now that's where you get the form, the performance, the rhythm, and essentially the results. They've done really well in keeping those guys fit and on form.
Well, they're being restrained here at the moment, St Helens. And by just having a little look to see what might be coming next. It is Delaney who takes it in, rolls back to his feet to play that ball left. In fact, and By goes from dummy half with a kick. Evalds is right there, knew where it was going, runs back, good chase from Saints defenders. And Hull Kingston Rovers will have to start from here. Burgess picks up and has a look with a push. 3 wrapping themselves around him quickly. Still a bubble to the atmosphere, isn't there, here? Really is. It's a terrific build-up to the game. Live band playing, reserves team game beforehand as well. But like a real carnival here today in the sunshine. And now it's the main event, and that is a penalty. Well, Warner Blake is getting further involved. Well, the referee has already made his decision.
Yeah, Tommy Makinson, the experience there is pulling his England teammate to one side and saying, look, don't get yourself involved. That's a really dangerous snipe out of dummy half, and just collected high by Wonga Blake. There's a drop in height there from Jack Broadbent, but it is a fairly forceful contact there from Wonga Blake. It'll be at the minimum a penalty, and you can see why Mikey Lewis is aggrieved. His teammate taken high. That defensive read from Wonga Blake, he feels the need to go in because Matt Parcell gets out from dummy half so easily, gets over the advantage line. It forces defenders into doing things they don't want to do. Wonga Blake felt he needed to shut down something there, and he's ended up going high on Jack Broadbent.
Well, every time this kind of scenario happens, the referee striding around and having a silent conversation with a video referee is a concern for the player who's been penalised. Wonga Blake's going out there. Johnny Lomax.
It's direct, it's forceful and dangerous. He has lost height rapidly, so it's 10 minutes in the bin.
Well, there you heard the explanation. Lost height rapidly, but it was forceful and it was dangerous. So it's not a red card, but it is a yellow card. And St Helens, with what has been a disastrous start so far, now have 12 men for the next 10 minutes.
And this is a real opportunity now for Hull KR.
Right, just leave it to me. I'll do it.
There was just some more conversation there with the referee, just with Elliot Minchella and Mikey Lewis. Just perhaps to tell his captain to tell his halfback just to tone it down a little bit.
Well, we said beware of predictions before the game started, but I think a lot of people, certainly the Hull KR fans, would have predicted their team would dominate today. And so far, that is bearing fruit. They are absolutely dominant. Whitbread with that first take in. 5 to go here for Hull Kingston Rovers. Just about 28 metres away from where they'd like to be. And already with a try to their name. Saints are doing it tough. The Robins are making them suffer. It's move left again, Minchella, and here comes the hands, and it's poor hands in the end. Ryan Hall has to bend, and he knocks it on. There's a cheer from the Saints fans. I think that's one of relief as much as anything else.
Yeah, and I think congratulations for Tommy Makinson as well. He's anticipated that really well and given Jack Broadbent no time. You see him appearing rapidly from the left-hand side of your screen. Broadbent seen him out the corner of his eye. He thinks maybe he can get a pass away. But it's good pressure, good anticipation from Makinson, and just snuffs that opportunity out. And of course, it is down that side where Wonga Blake would normally be defending.
Difficult day for Broadbent to come into this team, isn't it?
I don't know. You know, the guys were talking about confidence being infectious. He would have been, you know, heavily involved in that squad. You know, over the last couple of months, 10 wins out of, 9 wins out the last 10 games, and he's been right in the thick of that. So I think he'll drop in and get on with his job. He's a good quality player, isn't he?
Whitley up plays and by a dummy half again. St Helens looking to gather in at the yards if they can. But Lees is gathered in and rolled to the ground. So Mbai has to have another look. Lomax out there, back from his 3-game ban, of course. Back hoping to pull the strings somewhat today. Robertson, the fullback, up, and Lomax again. It's a cut back towards the middle. Lees just about 5 metres inside the opponent's half. Lomax, quick hands. Robertson's involved, and Mbai's cut down. Lomax picks up. Interesting to see if the referee says another set. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And Hull Kingston Rovers get the ball back again here. I think he was going to give another set, but Lomax might have dropped on at the end here. Knocked on.
Well, they tried to get the kick away. Yeah, it's a forward pass, I think. Yeah. That's it. So, yeah. Forward pass to Harry Robertson. So
he was about to give the 6 again, wasn't he? If he kept hold of that.
Which in itself I think would have been a hard call. I'm not sure Hull KR played at that. The ball was kicked by Moses and by into a Hull KR play. But anyway, here we go. KR in possession again. Here's Dean Hadley. How important has he been? What a season he's had.
Well, they've got some excellent back rowers. They've got another to come next year, haven't they? Reece Martin's suggestion that Dean Hadley will push up or push towards the middle next year. More. Eccles to Hiku, and Hiku is stepping away. There just seems to be a constant threat on that right-hand side in the opening 11 minutes. It's where they scored what we can describe, I think, as their first, because you'd suggest there'd be more on the way. And Ryan Hall here, galloping through, support on the inside, and Mikey Lewis is in to score. There was a worrying lack of defenders there in St Helens shirts. Hull Hulkingster Rovers ain't concerned about that. Lewis in, Hulkingster Rovers have the second, and at the moment are utterly dominating this.
And just adapting on the fly as well. It wasn't a great ball in the build-up from Tyrone May. It squirted underneath the feet of Elliot Minchella, but the way the shape and the options they've got, that's not a great pass, is it? But Mikey Lewis picks it up on the half volley and he gets to the point in the field where he needs to, gets to Sione Matautia, brings in Tommy Makinson, and then it's a 2-on-1 with Ryan Hall and Mikey Lewis. This is the threat the other side you were talking about, Petter Hiku. To think he was the nailed-on number one to start this season. He's been brilliant in the right centre for Hull KR. And then it's the pass, this second pass, not a brilliant one, but again, just how quickly they drop into shape. Mikey Lewis steps across, draws in Matautia, and then Ryan Hall provides it on a plate for Mikey Lewis.
Well, the man down that side, obviously, with Wonga Blake in the sin bin, so that didn't help. But even given that fact, this was a lot of space earned by Hulkingster Rovers here. 8-0, 12 minutes played, kick to come. Good heavens. Reminder that it's 11 years since Hulkingster Rovers last won in this town. One of the interesting facts about that match that day, Alex Walmsley, Johnny Lomax and Tommy Makinson all played that day for St Helens. Paul Wellens, the coach, was at standoff in that game that Hull KR won. Some bloke called John Wilkin, I think that's the same John Wilkin off the telly who was playing in that.
Now then, they're giving Mikey Lewis an 88%.
Have they not seen him? Has AI not seen him kicking before?
Maybe it's not been updated since Magic Weekend last weekend.
So Lewis looking to shut us up and prove that AI knows what it's talking about, and it does, because over it goes, and 10 points to nil. What a start for the Robins this is.
It's the best possible start, isn't it? I mean, you've got to say St Helens have contributed to this, haven't they, by mistakes and ill discipline. But that's where Broadbent's pass does come off. Another catch and pass. And then back on the inside from Ryan Hall to Mikey Lewis, his 15th try of the season.
And Hulkingster Rovers absolutely flying at the moment. And the other worrying aspect here, John, is Hull KR are scoring the points. Worrying aspect for St Helens is they're not conceding a lot of points at the moment, are they?
No, in the last 5 games, they've been conceding under 10 points, under 9 points, in fact. I mean, that's, you know, that on its own is championship-winning standard defence. You couple it with attack like this, I think they're in a game, St Helens. They're in a real game here.
Yeah, St Helens have to find a way to stem the tide at the moment as Hadley bundles it forward again. One last play here. Robins shifting it left to Lewis. Lewis sticks it high in the air. Luxon underneath it has taken it safely enough. And we've seen some bright sparks from him, haven't we, in recent times, since his debut a few weeks ago. Even in beaten teams, he has shown something that tends you to believe that he's going to be a very special player in years to come.
Yeah, and look, some really good fullbacks, young fullbacks have made the bow in 2024, haven't they? Harry Robertson, of course. Logan Moy over at Hull FC. I know they've been doing it really tough, but he's been a real bright spark. I'm trying to think of the third one now. I can't remember his name.
Eckersley at Wigan.
Josh Rourke, of course, yeah.
Yeah, Eckersley at Wigan. And the young fella at Warrington last night, Kai Taylor-Ray.
What a try that was.
Rovers' defence was up there so quickly. The St Helens crowd were convinced they were offside, but the referee's not seeing it that way. And here comes Burgess to try and return, running straight at Johnny Vaughan. Vaughan making the tackle. But now it's Hiku stepping in and skipping as he does so, and almost dragging himself through.
They play the ball's too quick for St Helens. I know they're a man down here, but they're just pulling through tackles. It's footwork really close to the line that's undoing Saints here.
Well, very often when you see a player sin-binned, you can't recognise that one team has a player short. Just at the moment, you look down and Saints almost look like they have 2 players short because of the way Hulkingster Rovers are going about their business here. May, just slips through. There were 3 or 4 in front of him, and barely a hand was laid on him. And this is joyful stuff from the Robins' point of view. Well, young fella, it's been a long time since this team was playing like this on a regular basis. but today they are doing it in a stylish manner.
And that's exactly what Sam Tompkins was talking about, that laid-back, laconic style from Tyrone May. Just lulls the defence into a false sense of security and glides through the line. They had a player in backfield, and Joe Batchelor just disappeared off the side of your screen, so they're actually defending with 10 men in the line plus a fullback. But take nothing away from Tyrone May. Picks his side, just shows and goes. He just oozes class, doesn't he? And he's happy with himself. Picture perfect from Tyrone May.
Well, this, at the moment, this looks like it could be a disastrous day for St Helens, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple of injury concerns, weren't there? Joe Batchelor, and I think even Johnny Lomax was slow back to his feet. This is Batchelor, who is still receiving treatment. Well,
They can't afford any more injuries, can they? You look at the players who are not playing today. Wellesby, Mark Percival is there as well. Morgan Knowles, James Bell, Curtis Sirenen, Darryl Clark, Jake Wingfield, Conrad Hurrell. There's a grand final winning team sitting in the stands at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a real challenge, hasn't it, for the coach, Paul Wellens, knowing you've got that much talent that's not able to contribute. Joe Batchelor's good to continue, which is a good sign, a relieving sign for the home fans and for Paul Wellens. He's not been back in the first team for long, hasn't he? But listen, Tyrone May, that is as relaxed and as classy a finish as you'll see.
Well, Batchelor back amongst his teammates. Mikey Lewis back in goal-kicking territory here. Bangs this one over. They're almost at a point a minute. And Red Red Robin is being sung like it has never been sung at St Helens before, I'd fancy. They're enjoying their day. They're enjoying their season. What a resurrection. It's only their 7th year back in Super League. Looking today for their 7th win on the bounce. And here's their little number 7 looking to add another couple of points, and over it goes again, and it is 16 points to 0. It is a dream start for the Robins, a nightmare for the Saints.
Yeah, and Tyrone May just sends Saints defenders completely the wrong way. Sione Matautia says, take a Polaroid of that. He said, that is as good as you'll see, and I agree. I think that is class from a classy player. And when we talked, you asked about the defence, Dave. They're conceding less than 10 points a game for the last 5 games against some top 6 opposition as well. Yeah. That just goes to underline the challenge that faces St Helens.
Wanga Blake, you can just see the bottom of your picture there. He's stalking the touchline, looking to get back on quickly. His side need to be at full strength. His side need a response to what we've seen so far. He'll get the sign now, and back he comes, and St Helens are back to 13. But while he's been away, they've conceded another 12 points.
Well, they need a clean set in defence for a start. I mean, they're halfway through this set. This has got to be squeaky clean.
Don't go early. Go free.
Rovers relishing every challenge. Sue just hitting that line as hard as he can. Parcell, little skipping run from him from dummy half, more yards gained, and it's going to be a penalty. Yeah, dragged down, the referee decided. Matty Lees is not happy with that, but the referee says he dragged him down after the tackle was complete.
Yeah, Parcell's able to get out so quickly because Suaso Sue's run was another absolute barnstormer, sent Matt Whitley careering backwards out of the tackle. So a fresh set and in a familiar position for us at the start of this game.
This is May, back inside for Sue. Sue blasts it in.
10 meters.
Matt Parcell stands and waits. Mincello just to his right. This is he now, gets it on its way, and Whitbread strides in. Parcell looking left, Mincello again. St Helens defensive line comes out there, but they're trying to create some space. Broadbent stepping and bouncing and beating 2, but not the 3rd or the 4th. Ryan Hall, still a couple of plays to go in this set, by the way. And Mikey Lewis bumping in, but not finding any purchase. So last play, Parcell, what they're looking for here. Out to Tyrone May. Now it's with Evans. Numbers and again. Numbers again. Burgess again. They have their 4th try of the afternoon. This is a walking day for Hulkingston Rovers. They've never seen anything like this for a long, long time. Hulkingston Rovers, just at the moment, are purring and are galloping clear at the top of the table.
Oh, it is just so good to watch. Joe Burgess picks up his 7th of the season. But again, just take a look and marvel at the build-up to this. The shape they've got, the options they've got, the passing, the catch and pass there from Peter Hiku was absolutely top draw. Parcell's able to get out. Good early ball from Evans to Hiku, who draws in T. Ritson again. And that's an easier finish for Joe Burgess. Well, I'll tell you what, if there weren't alarm bells ringing before this, there certainly are now for the home side. That just looked too easy. There's nothing particularly individually special. Perhaps that pass was pretty good. But it's just about picking numbers, getting in the good shape and then executing. And Willie Peters incredibly pleased with what he's seen on the field. We're a quarter of the game in. They're keeping up with the clock. Dave, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculously good.
And what they're doing at the moment as well, and we keep mentioning this, points difference, but what they're doing at the moment is building a huge barrage. That could be worth an extra point in the league ladder if they can add even more to this today. They started the day with 54 points better than Wigan.
Well, the League Leaders' Shield last year was decided by points difference, wasn't it? You expect something similar the same. So Hull KR and Mikey Lewis are going about things exactly the right way.
Well, Mikey Lewis has had more kicking practice in the opening 21 minutes of this game than he's probably had all week. Because every couple of minutes they seem to be giving the tea and say, go on, have another go, Mikey. Well, there's some concerned coaching box. Where do you go from here? How do you fix this up with the personnel that are out there? Lewis rolls back, strikes it well. And, well, the flags are down. And it's telling that the Saints fans behind the sticks weren't celebrating that kick had been missed, because it's almost an irrelevance just at the moment. No, 20 points to 0.
Yeah, they realise they're in a bit of a hole. Everything is on the front foot. Everything is timed. Everything is on the chest. It's just really well executed. I'll tell you what, it looks so pretty because behind that there are hours and hours and hours of repetition on a training field.
Big doubleheader today, of course. Coming up next is that match, Salford against Huddersfield. Oh, and have Hulkingston Rovers made a mistake here? Well, somehow even then they managed to put it right.
A big cheer from the end as well, where the Hull KR fans are. Burgess has come up with a couple there, and he's got him out of jail after what was the first error of what has otherwise been a flawless first quarter of a game. This May just lost it in the sun, didn't he?
Here comes Ryan Hall. Big drive down the middle from the winger. Just to get up and play it. Scutter out of dummy half again from Parcell. Lytton still to come on for field as well at some point. Kick away from Mikey Lewis. Jagging away from Ritson. Lewis and Materti just having a little bit of a conversation after that kick got away. Referee's not interested. And here comes Tommy Makinson. Yeah, one of the older heads on the field.
Yeah, and they're going to need all his experience and his industry as well. And usually behind Makinson you have a Percival crashing in there, don't you? They just don't have the same tools at the moment.
This is Mbai. Iggy passes on the field, by the way, to add a little bit of weight to this St Helens go forward.
Oh, look at the possession as well over the last.
Lytton on the sidelines. He'll be desperate to get on one. He creates even more pandemonium in the opposition. Here's Blake.
He'd be desperate to get on. Looking at possession stats like that, 80-odd% possession, 83% possession. It's ridiculous. You're right. That's a hooker's dream from dummy half.
Edwards with a catch. Ryan Hall waits a dummy half. Tommy Makinson trying to step things up here. Oh, adversaries coming together there. Iggy Parsley with his first telling play of the day.
A little bit more spite about this defensive setup from St Helens.
Marcel. Here's Burgess. Trying to squeeze his way through. Marcel again, searching wide again. Winger's not out there. Batchelor's actually standing in the right wing position, but it doesn't go past Hiku anyway. One last play to go. It's Lewis's left boot, and Bai got to him, but not before that ball was flying downfield, and Robertson can bring it back here. Skipping his step. He can embarrass defenders, but not on this occasion, and not only that, they're dragging him almost to where he started from.
Yeah, they know what a danger he is carrying the ball. He's got such a really well-balanced running style.
This is Vaughan. 3 gone, 3 to go. St Helens in the shape of Parsi this time. He's trying to plunder their way forward. Kingston Rovers players efficient in getting back there and just shifting their positions in defence to make sure the numbers are okay. It's with Lomax, but before he can really get that under control, Tanganoa comes in and makes the tackle. Last play, and by down this blind side, the kick is going to be from George Whitby. Underneath it is Niall Evalds. He's got all the time in the world to catch it, but how about the return? Well, they're up smart enough.
They've just got to get into a grind now of St Helens. Just got to get into that flow of the game where they'll go set for set for set with Hull KR. It's something they've not managed to do for the opening quarter of the game.
Hiku again just popping up on that right-hand side.
Move now! Here, hold. Just trapped up. Wait. Go for it.
Kingston Rovers doing it the hard way at the moment, through the middle.
4. Movement! Line! Hold.
Marcel.
Go for it.
Again thinking about that right-hand side, and May and Evalds, and delays the pass and gets Badges away. He's galloping towards a hat-trick, but he unselfishly puts it inside, and they're still keeping it alive. Somehow Batchelor kept it alive. Parcell carries it on. There was a try there for the begging, but the pass didn't quite connect. 1 play to go. Inside for Tyrone May. May now kicks towards the corner, but Wonga Blake, well, could have caught that on the full and we'll get another set, but he's put it behind the netball line and has conceded the dropout underneath the sticks.
Well, here's the break. Niall Evalds just picks the pass, waits for T. Richardson to come back in. I'm looking for who gets the tap here. It's just it's a collision rather than anything else between Harry Robertson and James Batchelor. And then this kick, well, I'll tell you what, Wanga Blake, you've already got 1 foot in the in goal. Why put more pressure on your side? I wonder sometimes at what goes through his head, because he's got an opportunity there to really have a swing, a change in momentum for Saints. Instead, he's just put them back under pressure.
Worryingly there for Saints as well. When Blake was doing that, 1 or 2 Saints players were like throwing their arms up in the air as if they were frustrated by that as well, which they don't need that to creep in as well, does it? Frustration with each other. Lewis, and here's Tanganoa, straightening things up again. They'll fancy this, Hull Kingston Rovers, this position, with this number of tackles to go. May and Hiku. Oh, they're playing games with them over on that left-hand side of Saints' defence. Really taunting them over there. May back towards Minchella. He's going to straighten it. 3 defenders gathering in, upstairs and down, making sure that there's no further progress, there's no offload. Slowish. This is May, and Whitbread injects himself in there, and Mikey Lewis bravely getting involved again, but Saints drag him down. 1 to go. May with a short flat pass. Oh, it's a forward pass. It looked brilliant. And from the other end, well, they would not have been able to pick out that was forward. They would have thought it was brilliant.
I'll tell you what, forward pass or not, I'll tell you what it does speak of. It speaks to the confidence with which they're playing out there. So that the play before, I mean, Whitbread found Mikey Lewis with what looked like an impossible offload. And then you've got Tyrone May just pushing them forward there. The final pass, there wasn't an issue with that one. It was the pass from Tyrone May that was just forward. So St Helens let off the hook a little bit. Just to go back to that right-hand attacking edge for Hull KR, the right defensive edge for St Helens. Johnny Vaughan and T. Richardson have got to work something out there. They've got to work as one, because you've got one hanging and one jamming. That doesn't work. You've both got to operate the same defensive system. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself getting undone.
Whitley tackled. Saints desperately desperately trying to clear their line. Lees gets a ball away. Robertson flings it at wider still to Ritson, but his path is closed by those blue-shirted opponents who get in his face. A reach and a catch by Whitley, and this now is Parsi, who's having an arm gripped to his side. I think St Helens fans enjoyed seeing Mikey Lewis on his backside there. And that's what that big cheer was all about. Lomax again. This is the last. Whitby sticks it up high. Ryan Hall catches. Had to think about the pass for Evans, but took it instead. Evans.
You might have seen a stat that popped up on the screen. I think I had to look at it twice and check whether it was correct. St Helens have not had to play the ball in Hull KR's 20 so far this game. That is extraordinary. And contrast that with Hull KR, who had 13 times they've started inside the Saints' danger zone.
Well, this is the home of the former champions, St Helens, and they are being made to look like second-class citizens here, aren't they, by this Hull Kingston Rovers performance. Lewis putting it high. I mean, there are a lot of mitigating circumstances, of course there are, because St Helens have so many missing today, but even so, this is just a tad of an embarrassment at the moment. They need to fix things up, stick the chins out and get on with it, get themselves back into it. Stevens is on the field. 18-year-old prop forward. Parsi. Another big carry. And by at dummy half again. Still searching to get inside their opponent's half, to finish a set inside their opponent's half, which ain't going to happen here. Matotia put down. He's lost a boot as well as Sione, so he'll have to retrieve. Meantime, Lomax kicks it downfield. Evalds carefully watches the bounce and then commits to making the catch, and Hull KR start from here. Saints defence up there quickly, but they need more than that.
They certainly do. I mean, it was a pretty one-dimensional, pretty conservative set as well from St Helens, wasn't it?
They must be drained of confidence, though, mustn't they?
You're now over 100 minutes of football where Saints have failed. You know, they haven't been able to cross the whitewash. They haven't managed to register a single point.
This is Broadbent. I mean, he's doing it tough. He's doing it tough. And you look at his overall record, 57 games in charge. He's won 38. That's a 67% winning record, which is exactly the same as Willie Peters.
Yep.
Give or take the odd game.
Yep.
So, you know, it is all about perception at times. He's had his good days, but just at the moment, this is certainly not one of them.
No, I think it's the dramatic drop-off in form, I think, and the injuries have played a huge part of that, of course. But just to go back to the point scoring, they've got nothing on the sheet at the moment. The last point they scored was here. It was Moses and Bai in that drop goal win over Salford.
Well, they might be conceding more here. It's still the fifth tackle. The referee says play on. And that's where it'll end, that little adventure. St Helens get it back, but only 20 from their own line. There is a stat, by the way, and I hope I'm not boring you with this, but St Helens has scored 518 points this season. And players who contributed 316 of those points are not available. So 60% of their points scoring is in the stands, injured at the moment. Hull Kingston Rovers have scored 575 points, and the only player not available to them who scored this year is Ollie Gildart with his 8 points. So that again is a reflection of the difference in health of both sides.
Absolutely. There's a lot of players, and importantly key players. And we use Lee, don't we, as an example, don't we? You take two players out of the Lee Leopard side, the two top players, and how would they perform? Well, we saw the evidence of that at the start of the season. You know, Papi and Asiata missing with different prospects. Saints without the stars, it doesn't matter how good a team you are. If you're missing your key playmakers and your key point scorers, you're going to struggle.
Whitby's tackled. Last play. They're almost inside the 30. Kick up from Lomax. Ryan Hall confident that he was always going to be in a comfortable position to take that. He was. Matotia came in to make the tackle. Here's Mikey Lewis running over Harry Robertson. Broadbent.
Oh, and the referee, tell you what, the referee thought about putting the whistle to his mouth there. He got it halfway to his mouth and thought again.
Well, it's probably because Mikey Lewis was appealing behind. Oh, well, if he's appealing for it, you know what, never mind. Parcell. It's a very deep call from the referee, getting Moses and Bai to move. And they're here again, and Hiku, and Burgess, and again he's galloping free, and has so many in support. This time he doesn't bother. And Joe Burgess with a hat-trick, ignoring the fullback as he ran in to claim that third of the day. And that sums up where Hull Kingston Rovers are at the moment. 24 points to nil with 6 minutes of the half remaining.
Just too good, just too good. And Niall Evalds again in the build-up, late movement, drops himself into the line. Just that drift on the outside there, gets the ball from Batchelor, pulls in Ritson again. They're going to have to do some work, St Helens, you know, on that left-hand edge at half-time. And Burgess, we know about the pace he's got in open space. This is a variation of play we've seen. Just drops Evalds onto the outside. Centre and wing have to come in, but do not stop the ball, crucially. Just a cutback on the inside. Evades the St Helens defence, and he picks up a first-half hat-trick, much to the appreciation of head coach Willie Peters.
Well, that 11-year drought, I think, is going to end today. I think we can say that reasonably confidently at the moment, unless St Helens can muster an incredible fight back here. Saints at the moment hanging on to top 6. Catalan losers yesterday. If St Helens lose this, I tell you, it could be a great weekend for Salford if they could beat Huddersfield this afternoon. There's a little bit of chat going on at the moment. But I mean, I look at you, John, with an eyebrow raised. You must have been involved in teams who get a shellacking like this down the years. How do you respond behind the sticks as a group of players?
Well, the very quick answer is you start with the next set, Dave, and you're just focusing on the next minute and the minute after that. But in reality, everybody behind those sticks, as professionals they are, they're also humans, and they're hurting, they're embarrassed, and they'll be lacking in confidence. Let's be honest. This is a team that is down on confidence, not just down on top performers and superstars, down on confidence. So there'll be some doubt there as well.
Mikey Lewis, no pressure. 2 out of 4 so far. He's not in a post yet. Maybe we're due one of those. Lewis kicks it right between the uprights. 3 out of 5, 26 points to nil.
Well, let's take a look back at Burgess's hat-trick then. I think the first finish was the best, wasn't it, from him? This came on the 3rd minute, really early on in the game. First time they ventured down that side. This was his second on the 20-minute mark. Great hands from Pettico in the build-up, and there's one constant here, and it's that man, Niall Evalds. Just his movement pre-play, how he inserts himself in the attacking line, and a brilliant finish for a first-half hat-trick inside 35 minutes for Joe Burgess.
And he missed one as well, of course, and I wonder if time again he might have actually taken that on as a solo effort if he'd had that opportunity again. Ifs and buts.
It's worth saying that is his first hat-trick for Hull KR as well, but the 11th of his career, so he's a try scorer and he's now done it with another club.
And we mentioned this last week, the kind of the evolution, the kind of rebuilding, not of careers but of recent form of several of these Hull Kingston Rovers players. Tanginoa, we mentioned, Evalds, you know, the injury problems they've had. Burgess only managed, I think it was 4 tries last year. So again, he's re-establishing himself this year, isn't he, as a strike winger in the Super League. 1 play to go. Swung back to Lewis. And Bai tries to get to him, but his kick is good. Ritson looking to bring it back. He's got an outside route to plunder here. T. Ritson running down this right-hand side. But there's recovery from those Rovers defenders for the first time today. Their hearts were beating because St Helens were testing the pace of Ritson, who switched over tellingly to this right-hand side with Makinson going left. That's a fix-up in defence, but it almost worked in attack there. This is Vaughan. Inside the opposition 20 for the first time to play the ball in this game. And how many minutes played? 38, very nearly. Lomax, passing, on its way. Robertson shrugging off one, but then, as he tries to keep it alive, has lost the ball. And Mikey Lewis has just done a strongman salute to those Hulkingston Rovers fans.
And you just think, if Harry Robertson had his time again, and he's looking at that in review, does he pass at the first opportunity, rather than trying to take the tackle and find an offload? But you're right, tellingly, Paul Wellens, as well as being disappointed with the end of that play, will have noticed an improvement from the start of it. T. Ritson switching sides. So listen, that's not a positive move in and of itself, is it? T. Ritson's been pulled to the other side of the field because they're going to get him out of the firing line. But he did start this the move off with a scintillating break down this right-hand edge. Just St Helens couldn't execute when it mattered.
Here's Hickey bringing it out. Hulkingston Rovers would have clocked that. Tommy Makinson over there. They're going to test him now. Well, let's see how this side works now. May. Parcell. And Hadley head down and goes. With that Hulkingston, St Helens line.
But that's a huge win mentally for Hull KR. They're switching a career lifetime right winger to the left wing midway through a game. You know you're at them. You know you've got them.
Parcell just scampering a few yards inside the Saints half. This is the last. Hadley to May, and again they're running. They don't want to kick, they want to run, they want to keep testing them. Burgess puts the kick over the top, and there's a recovery out there. Is it Robertson who's got down there to get there, or is it Whitley?
It's Whitley who's just got back in the corner, I think.
Well, the referee's shouting surrender. Hull KR took that as a cue that they could pick him up and drag him around. The referee says you can't do that, it's a penalty.
And some respite for St Helens. Yeah, Whitby funnels back and just ties the ball up. Referee's waving play on there, so you know Hull KR can do something. They can wait for him to move, but at that point, I think the referee a little bit too much gone on.
Well, the hooter sounds. I think you might just have picked that up in the background. Deafened us. And St Helens, one last chance to try to fix things here. Blake flicking it out to Ritson. Ritson passes it back, but the referee has given another penalty. Another penalty for St Helens. So he's on overtime, I think, today, the referee.
Yep, and Saints will have to, they will feel they will have to try and do something here. They can't just kick this into touch and drag, but they're going to have to try and play. There's going to be a Hail Mary coming here from St Helens.
Come on, discipline.
Well, this should be the last play, unless there's another penalty.
Yeah, it was Tanganoa, wasn't it, who took out the Saints player, but they're going to have to play.
Vaughan trying to get through, can't get through. The tackle is complete. And the first half is complete, and Hulkingston Rovers' performance so far has been complete. Embarrassing St Helens at the moment at home. St Helens 0, Hulkingston Rovers 26. Of all the predictions, did anybody predict that half-time score?
Certainly nobody pitch-side with me here, Dave Woods, no matter what they may say after a short break that's coming up. What have we just witnessed? The table-topping Robins demolishing St Helens here on their own patch.
The Robins, I think, is going to be a watchword for the running into this final series, because they have been exceptional, flawless in this first 40 minutes.
Well, we've been thinking back, the last team to come to this ground and be so dominant and play so well, and Ian Proctor, Statman, saying, well, probably Souths in that World Club Challenge in 2015, when Souths won 37-0 here. And that is probably the one, isn't it? And there was a Burgess that day who made a bit of an impression. I think it was George, wasn't it? Not Tom, George. And it's Joe Burgess who's been making an impression here today. But Hulkingston Rovers, more of the same.
And why not? It's been so good to watch, hasn't it? Just everything about it just has looked so clean, with purpose, with precision. And St Helens have had no answer, have they?
None at all. Parcell back towards the middle. Minchella and popped back on the inside again. So Saints looking to keep the damage to a minimum as Parcell goes running out of dummy half, ties in there in that position. Mikey Lewis just puts it up in the air. It's going to bounce. It's going to bounce. Robertson has to retreat back almost to within a couple of yards of his own goal line before he can pick it up, and Batchelor's in there to pick him up, and he's being tackled and dragged into... Oh, he's given a penalty to St Helens.
Well, Chris Kendall said that a ball-carrying arm has touched the ground. You know, it was clear that Harry Robertson never stopped moving. It's just whether it was a ball-carrying arm touched the ground, and I guess that's it there. It was dragged across the ground more than anything else. Really difficult for James Batchelor to be able to hear what the referee's saying 10 metres away. But it's the correct decision.
The referee shouting surrender. And that's a poor kick out of play, which rather sums up the mood of things, doesn't it, from St Helens' point of view? Chance to clear their lines much further than that. Instead, they've got to do it the hard way. Whitley with that first carry. And by a dummy half. Who wants it? Who wants it? Who's got the heart and soul to put the fight together for St Helens here?
We've talked about the injuries, we've talked about the missing personnel, we've talked about the young kids, but let's not forget there's grand final winners here, multiple grand final winners here playing today. These experienced players need to step up now.
This is Mbai. Going to switch it back towards the middle. Whitby to Lomax. Robertson's involved, as is Blake, and Blake gets the arm free, threatens the offload, but good reaction from those Hopkinson Rovers defenders make that a poor option, so he has to take it to the ground. Matautia now goes bumbling forward again. He's put down there. 5 gone, 35 away. And by left-footed, he sticks it up there. Emeralds has put his name on that ball. And St Helens' turn to try and gather up some ground by pushing their opponents backwards. Ryan Hall will pick up out of dummy half and will have a little search down that blind side. Lewis now is the next. Broadbent. Johnny Lomax being told by the referee he was offside there, so he couldn't involve himself in any way in that defensive effort. Hadley now straightens things up, and by shoulders in the way in the first instance. So this is Parcell. And Evalds and Hiku and Burgess, and still going despite gathering a Johnny Vaughan on his travels. He manages to get another 10 metres downfield. 6th is the next, so Mikey Lewis puts it out into the sunshine, and Robertson has to readjust his feet there, and he did well in the end.
Yeah, it was a good take because he's looking directly into the sun there, is Harry Robertson.
Ritson. And again, Hopkinson Rovers are winning these battles, aren't they, defensively at the moment. Makinson, it's not often he gets beaten, but can't put a dent in that Rovers line. And by back to Stevens. Stevens now driving it forward. Good leg strength from the youngster. Just gathering a little bit more. Still wants more. He's greedy for the yards. And by goes left. And now Parsi. Parsi finds himself in the company of 3. Tries to offload. You can see him getting his left arm free. Tries to offload. Thrown it forward. And what he's done is simply given Hopkinson Rovers a very good starting position.
Yeah, I actually thought the pass to him was forward anyway, so he's tried his best to offload, to recycle play, but that to me looked forward anyway. So on the balance of things, it's we're probably ended up where we would have done anyway.
Come forwards, okay. Stay on side. Let's go ball in, Matt. We're ready, Matt. Heads in.
So Hopkinson Rovers plotting the next move here on the back of this scrum. May sticks it in, Parcell brings it out, and Ryan Hall in the first instance with that rugged approach of his, attracting a couple of defenders his way. Mikey Lewis is barking out orders. Kalepi Tanganoa is the target for his pass. Edging closer. Coaching staff encouraged by what they've seen so far. Minchella. Picking a path that has plenty of defenders in there. He offloads. Mikey Lewis had switched off for a moment there. The ball was coming his way, but Parcell was focused. So they don't lose possession, even if they have lost yards. Lockley Good slamming effort from him as well. Parcell across. Couple of plays to go. Down the blind side. Evolds puts it back to the middle. Minchella. Lomax advancing quickly to close down May, but he's got it away. And now it's Ryan Hall on that left-hand side. But he's watched well by Ritson and dragged down. One play to go. Lewis now runs it towards the corner, then puts the little kick in for the chase. And Mbai's not taking any risks. Pushes it dead. Saints have got more pressure coming their way here.
That's a really intelligent kick. Just assesses all the options, short side and open. And the weight on it is perfect. The weight, it just... Moses Mbai just has to play, especially when the bounce kicks up. Look at the number of Robin shirts in the frame as well. Making his decision for him.
10 seconds.
Tony Atkinson takes his time with the shot clock ticking down and then kicks it away. And Evolds carefully does it. Hadley, that was a crunch. Who was that? Was that Steve? No, it was Metaltier underneath it who's made that connection. Luckily now, running into a little buckle in the Saints' defence, but it closes in. Parcell goes off on his little travels here, causing them a few problems.
Hasn't he just? He's been really sharp from dummy half this afternoon.
Another set. So 6 more to go from here from Hull Kingston Rovers, who fancy there's more chance of points, but Hadley very nearly spilled it.
Stand! Ige, come on. Wait.
This is Parcell. Looking left. Lewis stepping. Still stepping. But his legs are tied up and his body's pulled down. Running in treacle there, Mikey Lewis. But Hull Kingston Rovers can spread it back towards the middle again, luckily. 3 tackles to go. The Robins are poised. Mikey Lewis stepping, dashing and darting for that line. Saints defence recovers in time. Parcell goes out. There's a push. There is a try. They're over again. Tanginoa gets his head in, but the referee is asking a question here.
Yeah, I think Lomax might have his hand under here, but the referee sent it up as a try. Could be the all-important factor.
Well, let's hear from the video ref.
Tackle 4, we have a try on field. So it goes nice and slow from here to see if the ball actually does get to the floor. There is a live cover try on field. Keep it going from there. You can see at that point it's not down. Keep it going from there. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Pause it there. Just go back slightly. Back slightly. This is the angle we're going to have on that. But that's when it's not down. If we go on from here, it then goes on to apex the ball. Pause there. Pause it there. Whilst there's a hand to the right-hand side, I can't say that the ball is not down at that point there. Have we got anything else that was showing on that? Keep it going on here. Keep going on that one. The ball's not on there, but does it help me at all? If we'll have a look at 10, just go back nice and slow on here. Right, we can see the ball there. Right, keep it going there. We know he stays in possession of the ball. Pause it there. Thank you, I've now made my decision.
Well, let's have a look. I think they're going to give this. And this is a moment here. Kalepi Tanginoa is going to take his try scoring into double figures 10. He becomes the 6th Hull Kingston Rovers player in double figures for tries this season, which tells you very much a part of the story of their year. Everywhere you look, there's try scoring potential,
isn't there? And he's been a remarkably consistent player for Hull KR this year. Ever present, I think, 23, this is his 23rd game.
Cheers, Gareth.
Round 23, his 8th Super League try, 10th of the season in all competitions, as you said, and a massively valuable asset for the Robins.
Well, doesn't that picture tell a story? Not a lot more to be said at the moment. Scratch of the head. Well, apart from dragging on 8 of those injured superstars back onto the field, what else can you do here? Mikey Lewis settling himself for what would be his 4th success of the day if he kicks this. Still over half an hour to play. The flags go up, and they have 32 points to their name here, Hulkingston Rovers.
Well, we've seen elaborate, we've seen classy, we've seen precision. There's a bit of brute force as well there. Kalepi Tanganoa through the front door. 3 Saints players still can't stop him from grounding the ball. He's a brilliant pickup, wasn't he, from Wakefield Trinity last year for Willie Peters and his team. He's repaid him in spades as well.
So making some restarts, Evolds catches, and here comes Lockley with the first challenge to that St Helens defence. Well, they've done well, marching him back a yard or two. 4-1, always unlikely odds against the ball carrier. Hicker.
2, move Johnny! 10 metres.
Parcell
Hold,
in there again. Loading up this right-hand side again. Bachelor with the attempted burst.
Move Johnny! Line! Go free.
Parcell. Luckley, second carry of the set for him. The Geordie prop forward. Twisted around, slowed down, pushed to the ground, so it's a disadvantage that Hulkingston Rovers are at here in terms of starting this next play. Lewis is going for a 40-20, but Robertson has that covered, and just enough of a delicate touch off the thigh to make sure he can get the ball back again, but outnumbered by those chasing Rovers defenders.
Yeah, that's the thing, the kick chase was second to none, wasn't it? It's given Harry Robertson very little to work with there. And now Suaso Su back on the field. Now, this is what I like about the Robin side. They're so well balanced. Bench and starting 13. Luckily comes off Suaso Su, who was devastating his first stint, back on the field.
Right back on the inside. Here comes Sam Royal for St Helens. Iggy Parsons just come off the field from their point of view. Here's Delaney. But again, they finish a set inside their own half. Hoping against hope for a big kick downfield. Numbers come running at them. The kick is straight into the hands of Burgess, who has a look at what's ahead of him and just runs straight. And he's stopped and he's pushed back again.
Another substitute as well for Hull KR. Matt Parcell's stint, 50 minutes is over. Jez Litton now, what a brilliant asset to have off the bench as well. The referee gives Hull KR a penalty here.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that the Saints just simply cannot afford to do here, is it? Give away penalties like that.
Well, they'd lost the ruck, hadn't they? Matty Lees has just decided to hang on to the ball in a desperate effort to try and slow them down a little bit, but it's cost them 30 metres instead.
Well, if you're looking for optimistic notes here, St Helens fans, and remember Leeds getting absolutely battered by Castleford in, what was that, 2017? And then Leeds went on and won a grand final. So, against Castleford, so you never know. But just at the moment, Hulkingston Rovers are certainly heavy favourites to make that Old Trafford date their own.
Quick in the rock, George Delaney.
This is May, and here's Bachelor. So Jez Litton jogging into position with all the freshness that he brings to the situation. May has to stop and turn, looking for a different route, but everywhere he looks there are St Helens hands reaching and grasping. Saints back on their own line. Minchella, Lewis, Evolds popping it out. Oh, beautiful little inside ball, but it's picked up by Matautia from Horse. Flick back, Matautia riding one tackle, but always had the ball stolen by Litton. Litton not only gets back there, Matautia stayed down injured, or maybe he's just battered pride, but Litton runs away. Now it's May. May back inside again to Hiku, and Hiku is eventually going to be tackled.
Oh, what a passage of play. So Ryan Hall with an audacious offload attempt, picked up by Matautia, and then Jez Litton in the tackle. One-on-one strip. And Hull KR back in position once again.
I think it was only batter pride from Sione Matotia, because he seems to be okay now. Back in the defensive line, but Holkingston Rovers back where they've been, it seems, for quite a long periods of this game. Probing and pressing. Evels, Hiku, quick hands, Burgess has to step. So many St Helens bodies coming his way. No fresh air on that occasion. Hiku, May, Minchella, Lewis. Oh, Matotia's making up. In fact, it's Wonder Blake, isn't it? Wonder Blake making up for past errors. May with a kick, charged down, and buys after it, wants to win it back, and he has. He has. So there's a bit of spirit about Saints at the moment.
Yeah, you've just seen 3 bits of desperation there. First from Matotia, then from Wanga Blake, and now from Moses and Bai, being first to a loose ball.
Charged down, but then it was this scramble here, and Bai wanted it the most. Lees scrambling back to his feet. Little run out of dummy half, but not too much further. Lomax. Here's Delaney. 5 gone, 1 to go. St Helens. Again, a long way away from what you deem an attacking position. Whitby tries to make things happen with a chip over the top. Lomax picks it up and immediately slices it out to the right-hand side. And I think it's knocked on by Ritson. Referee will say play on. 0 tackle as Lewis comes up for the Robins.
Yeah, and look who's there to pick up the pieces as well. Mikey Lewis, the ubiquitous Mikey Lewis. 9 levels with the first carry. And for the first time, Hull KR players just sucking in a couple of gulps of oxygen there, because that was St Helens who decided to kick up a little gear, or they put themselves in a position where they could kick up a gear.
Well, Paul Whelan saying at half-time, we'll see who cares in this second half, and he's getting a response, isn't he? At the very least. Jez Litton aiming up at dummy half again. Dashed left, came back right. Whitbread straightening things up. Falls, plunges inside the St Helens half, and not played, I don't think. Yeah, incorrect play the ball, so Saints get a decision going their way here.
Yeah, and it's ironically, that's been the area that I think they've had a great deal of success from. It's been the root of all their attacking plays. Everything's been on the front foot because they've been so dominant at the play the ball. On that occasion.
Well, Holkingston Rovers End is full of songs at the moment. And their ground, Craven Park these days, is Silver at Craven Park is a wonderful place to go. If you've never watched rugby league before, then you'd enjoy a night there, and they are taking that spirit and enjoyment on the road as well here today. Robertson dancing, but not too far. Back with Lomax across the line, straightened up by Royal. 30 away. Jake Burns operating out of dummy half. Whitby back to Lomax. Lomax across the line, and Vaughan stepping back on the inside and then goes out as well and pops it up, and Makinson has to take the tackle. But 3 or 4 names in that break tell you where this Saints team is at the moment. So many youngsters involved. Lomax again now, pops it back to Robertson. He slips, makes him an easy target, and it's a rare thing to play the ball inside their opponent's 20. Burns goes off and running. Lomax puts it out wide. Here's Ritson looking for a way back in the middle, but he can't find anything effective. And Holkingston Rovers have it back again.
Yeah, it's just a question whether there was just a bit of a tap on the head from Minchella on T. Ritson as he came back on the inside. Yeah, nothing much, just an arm grab. You can see why the referee let that go.
Petter Higu's been having a bit of treatment in the back play as well, but I think he's okay now. He's just feeling a little bit this game so far, but he's okay.
The fatigue from all the breaks and try assists that he's been making. Yeah, what a wonderful game he's had.
His brain is fried from all the thinking he's done in attack. He's cooling his brain off a little now. This is Litton at dummy half. Lewis was lingering on the left, but May on the right with another probing kick to put St Helens right back on their back foot. Brilliantly weighted, makes Robinson have to work hard, and when he comes out, look what's waiting for him, and Saints start from there.
Just the details. Play short side, take the time, draw up the winger, and then just punch the ball in behind with perfect weighting. Great passage of play.
Makinson. Running out but stopped. Young Burns at dummy half. Here's Lees, crashing in, but crashed into. Hits that wall and barely leaves a mark on it. Swung back to Robertson and now Lomax, and here's Blake. Blake, thinking of an offload, takes the tackle. One play to go, oh dear. It's a scruffy, scraggy end with a kick. Burgess picks it up, and because of that ending, Hawkington Rovers starting very close to the halfway line.
Yeah, it was Joe Batcher, I think, who put boot to ball at the end of that set. That's in no one's game plan, is it?
Here's Hickert. Three-quarters of the ground, not in silence, but certainly just a little bit stunned.
I think, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Hall. Three tackles left here for Hawkington Rovers to go advancing forward again. Whitbread just trying to damage the opposition line as much as he could, but Batchelor stood in his way. Minchella, May, and here's the other Batchelor, the younger brother James, up against his older brother Joe, of course. Oh, and a lovely little dummy from Lytton. Dances through two, but nobody was connected with his thought process there, because the kick, there was nobody on the end of that chasing it, and Robertson can bring it out.
I think it's the first time they've gone off script, isn't it, this afternoon? Just an ad-lib end to a set.
Burns. He's seen just a bit of an opening behind the rock. Tries to give his side a little bit of momentum here now. Delaney will carry this on, pushing inside the Rovers half. Burns is back there. Rovers defence lining up, waiting, ready. Lomax, dummies. Tricks no one, not on that occasion. Burns again, last play. Oh, and Robertson. Well, we know how good he is, but that was a very, very rare mistake from him, and OKR again given easy position. Yeah,
unfortunately, it's just not their day, is it? There's a clutch of young kids there who've come through the system together. I'm sure I've enjoyed many days of success and will do in the future as well. Today's not going to be one of them, Dave.
Well, the faces all around. If you're just switching on and wondering how St Helens are going on, just have a look at those last two shots and you'll know. And then have a peer at the scoreboard at the bottom left-hand corner. And it is thoroughly deserved, isn't it? You cannot say that Hawkington Rovers are flattered by that 32 points to nil.
Not at all. Not flattered by the 32 and not flattered by the nil either. I think it's important that we mention both sides of the game, because while Saints haven't offered a lot, I think OKR's defence, when it has been called upon, has been on point.
Minchella back, May puts it back on the inside again, and here's Matty Staunton. And again, a chance to build with 3 tackles to go. A little bit of craft and creativity. The order of the day, May hangs it on to Lewis, and Lewis tries to tease the defence, but can't bounce underneath the oncoming shoulder of Lomax. More yards gathered in before and after contact was made, so one last play. Lewis lurking down the left-hand side. He'll put it up there. May is after it with a challenge. Oh, and he very nearly gathered that in. It's Ritson who runs it out. No advantage, so Saints will get it back.
It's not the first time we've seen that set up this season either. I remember, I think, in the whole derby earlier in the year, it was Mikey Lewis to Tyrone May, and that time the ball stuck.
Can we get the physio on? He's just got to sort that blood.
Bit of blood that needs sorting out. The 7th win on the bounce here today, John, and we've mentioned it a couple of times before the game and during the game. But that is another Super League record. They very nearly, with winning here today, as they will now do, surely, they're very nearly cementing a place in the top 3, which will be their highest Super League finish, whatever happens for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's been some season, hasn't it? And it just underlines what an important piece of recruitment that was for that man, Willie Peters. I think of all the signings that we've mentioned and all the talent out there, I think the best bit of business Hull KR have done in the last couple of seasons is bringing Willie Peters across. He's transformed this side. He's given them a real defensive backbone and a brilliant attacking structure to work with.
The 1984-85 season, the last time they finished top of the table. For many people watching, that's prehistoric. Saints have a penalty. Cheers all around the ground. A little bit of relief.
Yeah, Mikey Lewis, I think it is just a little bit of petulance there.
Here's Batchelor with the initial drive, takes his side to within 5 metres of the halfway line. Young Jacob Burns is standing and waiting at dummy half, and Lomax brings it on, and they're trying to play with a little bit of brightness here. Robertson out to Vaughan, and Vaughan runs into the shoulder of Hiku. I think Lomax was taken earlier on.
Yeah, it was James Batchelor, I think, who hit him. He was on or just after the pass. Now, I don't know whether the clock's been stopped by the referee for potential injury to Johnny Lomax, or whether there's a penalty being given. I didn't see the referee's arm give a penalty, but it is a late shot on Johnny Lomax.
So the penalty, I think, is all that's going to happen here. Yeah, James Batchelor, with no talking to. Hulkingston Rovers set themselves back inside their own half. How long left to go? 60 minutes left to play here. St Helens' first order of the day at the moment is points on the board. Can they work from this position? One of the best starts they've had to a set in the match so far. Nilled last week, of course, by Wigan. Potentially nilled here today. Lomax and then Blake. Referee says play on. Lomax carries it on again. Royal will have a go. So St Helens with a wonderful position in the context of the game from their point of view. Burns goes scuttling away. Dragged down. Tanganoa very much involved in that one. Eked back. Parsi tries to push his way through. Rovers defending on their own line. First time they've had this kind of consistent pressure in a set for a long, long time. Little kick there by Whitby, but Evans, oh, he's missed it! He's missed it! And the follow-up on the debut. We'll see Whitby scoring the try. St Helens fans are celebrating that as if it was a score that has just taken them to a grand final. You couldn't be further from the truth, but there's a young fellow with a big future who has something to remember from this day.
Yeah, look, he's not going to get the result he wants, is he? But well done, George. Welcome to Super League, and well done on look, brilliantly weighted kick to start off with. But then, when opportunities present themselves, be ready to take advantage. Just a fumble from Niall Evans, who's been otherwise perfect this afternoon. And George Whitby, on a forgettable day for Saints fans, an unforgettable day for him because he makes his debut, and a try-scoring debut at that.
Well, Whitby's going to have a chance to kick the goal as well here. 10 metres in from the touchline. I'd say if you'd have offered him that dream at the start of the day, you're going to score a try and potentially kick a conversion. Leave out the knock-on from the kick-off. Leave out the fact that Saints have been battered 32-0 up to that point.
Yeah, does he have to have the scoreline to go? Does he have to have the scoreline, or could he just take the debut try?
Well, he's been waiting this for a while. He's been at this club since he was only 14 years of age. Local lad from Blackbrook originally. And as you can see, goal kicker. He captained England Academy back in July this year against France. And here he is with a chance to add another two. Just rolls back, steps forward. He struck that very well, struck it supremely well. And 6 points for George Whitby on the day. His team's total points make sure they avoid the ignominy of being nilled. It's Hulkingston Rovers who now lead by 32 points to 6, and Jen has got news for us down on the touchline.
Yeah, Woodsy just speaking to Wello ahead of this game about the youngster. He said that he's been a lifelong St Helens supporter. He even travelled out to Australia last year to watch Saints beat Penrith in that World Club Challenge.
Brilliant. Well, he'll have drawn to that, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come as well. This is a one-off. Everybody around here will be telling you, look, this is a one-off. You know this doesn't happen every week. And here comes Whitley.
Meanwhile, and you probably wouldn't have said this too many times either, that Hull KR have taken, with 15 minutes left in the game, taken the captain off ostensibly for a rest. You know, Elliot Minchella plays 80 minutes most weeks, and they've gone, right, well, you know, the game's that comfortable. Come take a breather, Elliot.
Well, there's something going on in back play here. Referee's going to have a look. It's all calmed down.
It was a knock-on, wasn't it? Essentially, the ball fired from Matty Lees into Ignatius Parsi, and just a bit of a loose arm from Tyrone May there, but it's all in, I was going to say all in jest, maybe not quite, but not super serious, let's put it that way. Ignatius Parsi comes up with the error. Hull KR back in possession. We've said that a lot this afternoon.
Let's go, boys, back down. It's onside. What's that?
Well, the season building and building potentially to a grand final for Hull Kingston Rovers. This is what they've got next. That standout game in a couple of weeks against Wigan, that could decide who finishes first and second. It's going to be huge, isn't it, that match? But Hull KR, if they can steer their way through those remaining matches in the style that they've played today, you would not bet against them. Another set of 6 here as Hadley drives it in. Lytton, a dummy half.
Again, I'm going to take it to the next level if you're not careful.
May. Lewis. Broadbent out to Hall, and Ryan Hall has to do a bit of strong work just to keep in play. Langer Blake coming across there to meet him. Tanginoa, try scorer in this second half. Lewis again has a look at what's ahead of him. Does he fancy a run from there? Of course he doesn't. Throws it back to Hadley. Hadley now back to May. The advancing Saints line almost spoiled that, but a great ball out to this right-hand side, and Burgess has a fourth. Joe Burgess, 4th try of the afternoon. He celebrates with us Hull Kingston Rovers supporters. It's been a day of smiles and delight for the Robins, and it just seems to get getting better and better.
4 up for Joe Burgess. What a finish in the corner, but I tell you what, the pass from Tyrone May was a thing of beauty. Just waits, bides his time, sees Tommy Makinson, he's read the script. We've seen this play unfold before. Just take a look at the time he's got. Rolls out for tackle, assesses, pumps, ball over the top. Go and finish another one, Joe. The pass, it's just all about the time that this man has got, how quickly he can sum up what a defensive line looks like, where the fracture points are, where the weaknesses are, and then deliver it to a man in a better position than he is. And that man was Joe Burgess.
Well, it's been quite a few minutes for the 2 number 35s, hasn't it? Either end of the field. Burgess with his 4th of the afternoon. As many today as the whole of last season. And Mikey Lewis is on kicking duty again, right on the touchline. Big deep breaths. Take your time, Mikey. The referee stopped the clock. Oh, he's going through his preparations here, isn't he? He's not rushing this, isn't Mikey?
This is important practice, perhaps for somewhere a little bit further down the line.
49% success probability.
So it's toss-a-coin territory, but you know, you get practice at these, you might get another shot at something like this from a more famous location, maybe 6-7 weeks from now.
You have to step off the pitch, don't you, at that location when you're kicking right on the touchline. There's Mikey Lewis then, looking to add another 2. 4 out of 6 so far today. I started it right of the sticks, and it was always going to go further right. So 6-36, Hull Kingston Rovers lead the game.
Just pulled it, but don't take anything away from this. That is brilliant. That is superb. That is Tyrone May's 12th try assist this season. Joe Burgess, his 4th try of the afternoon, of course, and he's letting everybody who travelled across the Pennines know. A hat-trick plus 1, Dave.
It's not bad, is it? as returns go. Into the last 9 minutes. And Hawkins the Rovers got the appetite for more here. Can St Helens try to stop them, succeed in stopping them? Hickey with a catch. Has a look and decides he's going to have a go himself. And Lytton lines up at dummy half again. Trying to blast their way out of this end of the field. Whitbread with the carry. Lytton again. Another big, heavy effort into the teeth of those St Helens defenders. Blaze and May again, just dashing forward. Hadley. Lytton. Mikey Lewis puts it up in the air. Is there a chase on here? The ball's going to... Oh, I thought it was going to bounce, but Tommy Makinson got there with those big, long arms and caught it. Tries to go on the outside of the chasers. Can't squeeze away through.
Go, collect your shot. You're good now. You're good now. Good work.
Wanger Blake can't get over the speed bump that came his way. Mikey Lewis was there, lifted him and put him down. And now T. Ritson, and Ritson still looking for his first try of the season. T. Ritson. Noah Stevens. Jake Burns striding in purposefully into dummy half. Whitby to Lomax. A little juggle in the line from Whitley. Vaughan takes it on. One play to go in this set. St Helens looking to finish positively. Burgess has eyes on this. Makinson does as well. Makinson did well because, well, in fact, I think he put a foot in touch, did he? No, it went forward. Turnover.
Yeah,
Rollins had it back again.
Just couldn't tap it backwards, could he? He was adjusting late and it's come out of the hands forwards. So it's been a much more even-sided second half, but in all truth, in all honesty, the damage was done, wasn't it? Inside 20 minutes, inside the opening quarter of a game. It just goes to underline, for anybody who's in any doubt, that Hull KR this season are the real deal.
Well, like we said, that game against Wigan in 2 weeks is going to be massive in the race for top spot. And given the quality amongst the top three at the moment, Wigan, Warrington and Hull Kingston Rovers finishing first will have an advantage, because if you finish first, you avoid the other two, and there's some shaky form going on between below that top three. So you'd fancy a home game against, well, essentially fourth.
Time off, just wait.
May's hurt here.
You all right? Tackle forward.
I think the referee's just checking on his health.
You all right?
Yeah, he had to reach down for the pass, I think, which is why he kind of left himself unguarded. So his hands are low.
He is okay.
Yeah, just awkward, I think. I think the referee just maybe gave him the time because it was an awkward-looking tackle, wasn't it?
Well, it's the slowest walk back to the line from the referee ever, but I think he was listening to the video referee. He is. Video referee's having a word here. It's another of those where the player stops. Although, to be fair to Tyrone May, he said, I'm okay, and he wanted to play on. I think it was the ref himself who said, let's just get the physio on.
You know, it's Tommy Makinson who comes in and makes the tackle. Oh, there is contact there, isn't there? I thought he'd found himself...
Was it high? It didn't seem high.
I thought he'd found himself in an awkward position, Tyrone May, because you'll see where he catches the ball. He catches the ball and doesn't catch it cleanly. So he doesn't have time to kind of... His chin's exposed.
Right.
But Makinson still shouldn't be finding it, should he?
Oh, well, Tommy Makinson's fearing the worst here because he's been called out with Johnny Lomax. Has been sent off this year, hasn't he, Tommy, in a game at Castleford?
Thanks, mate. Just wait. You're upright there, Tommy. You're upright.
Still the referee's getting sounds in his head from the video referee. St Helens fans are growing impatient with this. Tommy Makinson's clearly frustrated at this situation.
Right. Thanks, mate. Right, you are bolt upright.
Bad news.
It's shoulder direct ahead. There is no mitigation, Tommy.
It's a second red card of the year for Tommy Makinson. And whilst this might not have much impact on this game, it means St Helens going to next week with another of their superstars missing if the disciplinary panel see it the same way.
Yeah. They're saying there's no mitigation. It's a really difficult one. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to shut down the attacking threat that Tyrone May poses. But probably the right decision. Incidentally, I think Tyrone May has left the field. I think he's been told to go and take a head injury assessment. And Paul Wellens, yeah, I think he's seen and heard enough, hasn't he?
Yeah. Can the day get any worse than that? So St Helens are down to 12 men for the rest of the game. Tyrone May, by the way, has gone off for an HIA. We've had that confirmed. Disciplinary will have a look at that during the week. I think the last time Makinson got sent off that Castleford game, I think he escaped any punishment, if memory serves. I might be wrong, but he'll be hoping for the same outcome this week. But meantime, foot on the pedal, step down even harder here by the Robins in the closing stages. Looking to burst through the 40 points mark. Over the top, taken by Whitbread, slides in to score. They come in all different forms, all different shapes and sizes, these Robins tries. And this might have been the oddest one of the day. Try on the field.
In my view, it breaks the tackle. I'm just confirming the ball gets to the grip line, please.
Is this Jay Whitbread's second try of the year? Let's hear from the video referee.
Try. We pause it on the foot. They're all onside, so you can move on from here, please. So then the ball is collected cleanly. Let's go on from this. I need a tight inversion, because the ruling on field is that he has broken the tackle. So if you can come in tight on this. Keep it going on this, keep it going, keep it going. Right, you can clearly see that he has broken the tackle on that. So keep it going from there, keep it going. Right, another angle, please, because I lose the ball slightly. Go back again slightly. And just come on from here, because it clearly shows that he has broken the tackle. He's still got control of the ball, it's still in his arm. Pause it there, thank you. I've now made my decision.
It's going to be 40. Wait for the confirmation here. They'll be dancing on the terraces at that end, because that's where the Hulkington Rovers fans are when this is confirmed, and it is. Whitbread's score. Hulkington Rovers with yet another. It's 40 points to 6 with a kick to come.
And Mikey Lewis's stock continues to rise, doesn't it? A really well-crafted kick. Probably intended for himself, in all honesty. But he was checked on the run through and doesn't get the opportunity. But Jai Whitbread's pushing through anyway, just in anticipation. And I think big man against little man means that he comes out on the top side of this attempted tackle from Harry Robertson. So that is not held at that point. He does have the opportunity to ground the ball, and isn't he happy as well? So Hull KR put 40 on St Helens for the second time this season. The difference being the defence is much improved, isn't it? Just 6 points conceded today.
Mikey Lewis again taking his time, going through the whole process here, despite the lack of importance on this particular 2 points. And he has hit the post, but he's bounced in. Touch of his flags are raised. 42 points to 6.
Well, I had a feeling we'd get a decent performance out of Hull KR today, and we know that Saints haven't been on top form, but you show me somebody who predicted this score. I mean, it's been a dominant performance from minute 1 to where we are at the moment, just 3.5 minutes from the final whistle.
Well, a Saturday afternoon in the sunshine. In what, 7 weeks' time? It'll be a Saturday evening, possibly in the rain. And at the moment, Hulkington Rovers are making a very good argument to say that they are going to be at that occasion. Wigan, Warrington, and even the chasing pack will have something to say about that. Maybe even St Helens will still have something to say about that. but they are irrepressible at the moment.
I tell you what, they've put a marker down, haven't they? Double the meters made, completion rate nearly 90%. I mean, very rare you get this late on in the game and you would still see a possession split of 65% in favour of Hull KR.
And they're coming for more. They're coming for more. Broadbent back in the inside, but it's a forward pass.
Forward pass.
So Broadbent looked outside to start with and decided against Ryan Hall. Steps back
Where do you want it?
and checks inside, but Mikey Lewis had just overrun him ever so slightly, and a penny for that man's thoughts. This is a day I think he'd rather forget.
Yeah.
10 metres, Jazz!
Yeah.
Peter!
Stick the video in a drawer that says do not disturb for the next couple of weeks. Have a look later.
Go back down.
And what do they, I mean, what can St Helens draw from this today? What did they learn from this today?
Nothing. Other than, well, I'll tell you what they have
was
learned.
succinct.
I'll tell you what they have. But there's not an awful lot about themselves. They've learned an awful lot about their opposition, and that is that these are genuine title contenders. If anybody was in any doubt, I don't think you are anymore.
Well, there's a penalty here for St Helens. Chance to clear their lines. Ball steal. Several in the tackle. St Helens have a chance to finish the game with a little bit of positivity, maybe, because they've got a full set inside their opponent's 30 metres here. And it's going to be first carry by Royal. Sam Royal takes it in. Whitby offering it back to Stevens. Two tackles gone, 4 to go. St Helens with a chance to provide a little sunshine on what's been a very, very rainy day for them. Burns jogging across. Lomax is out there, and it's a play that rather sums up the way St Helens have gone today.
Yeah, just clunky, misfiring. Johnny, of course, is furious with himself. The ball was always intended for T. Ritson. I think it may be, yeah, just maybe carried through onto Wanga Blake's arm on the way through. Either way, just, yeah, probably sums up the entire afternoon, as you said. The entire 80 minutes in one play, from a Saints point of view, nothing's quite stuck, nothing's quite worked, nothing's come off for them. And in stark contrast to the visiting side, who are full of confidence, full of points, full of swagger, and full of ambition as well, to be taking part in the big games at the end of this year.
Well, he knows there's still some big challenges to come, but so far, so very, very good for Hull Kingston Rovers, who are going to go 2 points clear tonight at the top of the Super League table. Wigan have a chance to close it back again when they play Hull tomorrow, but points difference huge as well. Well, St Helens might have been missing several stars today, but it has been a 5-star performance from Hull Kingston Rovers. A little touch and then kick out of play. 4 tries provided by Burgess on the back of some super slick stuff that went on the inside. Well, there's some fixing up to do from St Helens' point of view. They need players back on the paddock, is the obvious bottom line. But Hull Kingston Rovers will have a party Saturday night and wake up Sunday morning and dream of a big theatre in a few weeks' time. Full time here, St Helens 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 42.
Dave, John, thank you very much. Just a 5th win in the town of St Helens for Hull KR in post-war rugby league. It now gives them a 2-point cushion at the top of the Betfred Super League table, with Wigan to come tomorrow against Hull FC. St Helens stay in 4th, but importantly now are within touching distance of Leeds, who are on 24 points, and the Lee Leopards, who face London tomorrow, who are on 23. Well, let's get back to those fans you talked about before the game, Sam Tompkins, those Hull KR fans that have come here in the past with trepidation. They've been here in 2015 and lost 52 points to 12. They've been to Knowsley Road and lost 68-12 in Super League Rugby League. They've come here today and won handsomely.